This is Corey Dutton. I'm a private money lender, and today I'm going to talk to you about an important question that I hear all the time. That question is, are hard money lenders regulated? And the answer to that question is, it depends. And what does it depend on? It typically depends on the type of property that you're lending on and the location or the state where that property is located that you're lending on. So the type of property that you're lending on, if you're lending on commercial property, and that would be any property that consists of 5 or more units or is classified or zoned commercial. In that case, no, you are not regulated under most circumstances. Now, in some states, you are required to be registered with one of the divisions, say the Division of Financial Institutions. That is something that you and your attorney need to do some research on, make some phone calls and find out. Where do you need to be registered? But typically, if you're lending your money on commercial real estate versus residential real estate, you do not need to be licensed, nor are you highly regulated. If you're lending your own money on residential real estate, then the answer is yes, you are regulated. Now, the next question is, where is the property located? In which state is the property located that you would like to make a loan against? The biggest myth and the biggest blunder that I see people making, particularly attorneys, is assuming that if the property is non-owner occupied, that you are not subject to any kind of licensing or any kind of relationship. That's wrong, folks. That's completely wrong, and that's bad advice. Do your homework, because depending on the state where the property is located that you want to make a loan on, you may fall under certain forms of regulation and you may be required to be licensed. Let me give you an example. In Colorado, if it's non-owner occupied, it's a residential property and it's non-owner occupied, you don't need to be licensed to lend on that property. You only need to be licensed in Colorado to lend on property that's owner occupied. But in Utah, it doesn't matter whether the property is owner occupied or non-owner occupied. If it's a residential property of 1 to 4 units, that's right, even if it's a fourplex that's fully rented, you have to be licensed to lend money on residential property in the state of Utah. Now, how do you find out? How do you make sure that you aren't committing a huge blunder and lending your own money on real estate under which you'd be highly regulated? Do your homework, get your attorney involved, and ask the right questions. What you want to do is you want to approach the regulatory division at your state level. So this could be your division of real estate, your division of mortgage lending, your division of financial institutions. In Colorado, for example, everything is going to fall under the Colorado Department of Regulatory Agencies. And in Utah, that falls under the Division of Real Estate. So know the laws for the state where you are going to be doing your lending. Now, what kind of regulations could you be subject to besides licensing? Well, on certain property types, there are disclosures that are required. What disclosures are required for your property type and in your state? Also, what kind of registration may be required? Just because you're not required to be licensed, you may be required to be registered with one of your state agencies, regulatory agencies. Know which agencies you are required to be registered with. That is part of your regulation. And then finally, what are the usury laws in the state where you want to do lending? Usury laws are regulations governing the amount of interest that a lender can charge. And these vary greatly by state and by property type. Do your homework. If you're lending on a property In California, for example, you better know what the usury laws are, and you better know what the licensing requirements are, because it's not until those loans actually go bad and a borrower's attorney gets involved that you could be put under the gun. If you're required to be licensed or registered, if you're required to comply with certain usury laws or certain disclosure requirements and you don't do that, that borrower's attorney is going to come after you and you're going to be in a world of hurt. So do yourself a favor, and if you decide that you want to become a private money lender and lend your own money on real estate, know if you are regulated and in what aspect you are regulated. I'm Corey Dutton. I'm a private money lender. If you have any questions about anything that I've said in this video today, leave them in the comments section below and I will answer them for you. If you found this video useful or you know someone that's thinking of becoming a private money lender, share this video with them. You could totally help them avoid possible problems in the future.